Live to Capitol Hill. Joining us now, the ranking member on the House Intelligence Committee, Democrat Adam Schiff of Burbank. Congressman, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Okay, so President Trump ran saying that he was going to do this, that he was going to pull out of the deal. He ran saying that he was going to shake things up. Isn't he just following through on what the American people voted for?
Well, he's certainly following through on a very ill-considered idea that he expressed during the campaign, and that is that he should tear up an agreement even though Iran was complying with it, that basically one president shouldn't honor the word of the United States of America. The result is going to be the slow unraveling of this deal, particularly if we impose sanctions on the Europeans who want to stay in this deal. And all of this is being done without a plan B, without an alternative, without a roadmap about how we're supposed to stop the Iranian nuclear program if they resume again, because we've left the agreement. So yes, he is following through on something he said during the campaign, but it was unwise then, and it's unwise now.
Meanwhile, that's not the only big breaking story overnight. We've got the situation in North Korea, 3 American prisoners now on their way home. Does the president deserve some credit for this?
Well, I'm certainly glad that the prisoners are coming home, and yes, he helped arrange for their return and certainly deserves credit for doing so. But the president has also made reaching an agreement with North Korea, the bigger picture, much more difficult. Why should North Korea trust that we will keep our word if we enter into a North Korean deal on their nuclear program? And what's more, I think he increased Kim Jong-un's leverage, because now Kim Jong-un realizes that the president needs this deal, having walked away from the Iran deal, more than Kim Jong-un does. So he can exact, I think, a higher toll in the negotiations. He can get weaker inspections and stronger terms that favor North Korea than we might have gotten had the president stayed in the Iran deal.
Other news overnight, there's so much to talk about, Congressman, has to do with Michael Cohen and the investigation into President Trump. As the ranking member on House Intelligence, you're really at the center of that issue. This report now from Michael Avenatti, which is Stormy Daniels' attorney, that Michael Cohen, his company was paid $500,000 from a company with ties to Russian oligarchs. Is that something you uncovered in your investigation? What do you know about that, and what's your reaction to it?
This is not something that we are aware of in our investigation. Viktor Vekselberg, the Russian oligarch, did come to our attention. We had wanted to do more investigation in terms of his relationship to the Trump campaign as well as others, but the Republican majority wasn't willing to do it. And now we see part of the reason why it was so important for us to continue our investigation. We don't know what this $500,000 payment from this company tied to the Russian oligarch was about. Was it a reimbursement of the hush money for Stormy Daniels? Was it for some kind of lobbying of the Kremlin? Was it for some kind of reward, or was it for some innocent purpose? We don't know the answers, but I'm confident that Bob Mueller will find out if we can make sure we protect the Mueller investigation and he's allowed to do his job.
You know, there's that dossier that was unsubstantiated, but maybe you say that as being confirmed more and more. It said that Michael Cohen had met with Russians. He, of course, denies that. But what do you know about Michael Cohen? How important is Michael Cohen to this investigation right now?
Well, he's very important, and one of the things that we wanted to do to try to either confirm or disprove the allegations in the dossier, in the Steele reports, is get Michael Cohen's travel records, find out whether he went to Europe and where he went to Europe. But again, the majority didn't want to know the answers, because indeed a lot of the answers we were getting were incriminating of the White House. So they attempted to shut the investigation down. Now we're continuing the investigation without them, but it's very hard without the subpoena power. But Michael Cohen, clearly a pivotal person because he was the president's fixer. And one of the allegations in the dossier is that he went to Europe to fix the fact that it was becoming public about the Russian support for the Trump campaign. So we need to either confirm it or be able to refute it.
And of course, if Democrats win control of the House, you would get subpoena power as the likely chairman of the House Intelligence Committee at that point. One last question. President Trump tweeting about the media again, his favorite target, talking about fake news and talking about the possibility at the end of that tweet right there. He says, take away credentials, question mark. What do you make of that and this war between the President of the United States and the journalists who are covering him?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because That really leapt out at me as well. This is, I think, a follow-on to his suggestion earlier that maybe we should pull the license of NBC because I don't like their coverage. Here he's saying, should we pull the credentials of reporters who write about the malfeasance of my administration? This is a direct attack on the freedom of the press and our First Amendment. And what America needs to know is we need to be vigilant because you don't lose your freedoms all at once. When a free society loses its freedom, it happens one small, sometimes unnoticeable step at a time. And this is a direct assault on our freedom of expression and freedom of the press.
And as part of that, I think it's really important to have a conversation with our lawmakers. We're excited to invite lawmakers from both sides to share their views. And Congressman, we always appreciate you making time for us. Congressman Adam Schiff, good to see you.
Thank you, Alex.